Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of our complete set review of Avacyn Restored. And this is a big, huge set, so it may take a while.
Yeah.
But we're here for the duration. This is Brad Nelson. This is Evan Irwin. We talk about magic cards for a living.
It's a tough one.
Somebody's got to do it, man.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go. Alchemist Apprentice is our first blue card in Avacyn Restored. I think this card is cool. I like this card. I'm glad this card exists. It's neat. I wanted a 1/1 that sacks to draw a card. I like that.
I mean, it's like an Oculus that you can do at any time, so that's like it's an upgrade. And there's a bunch of big monsters, and maybe you're missing land traps, so you can fill your deck with this card.
Yeah.
It's there.
I mean, I'm not excited about it per se, in terms, particularly, like, oh, my steel deck's totally running 3 Alchemist Apprentice.
Yeah.
But, it's like, as a 1, like, in your curve, it hits there. Again, for me, I like, Oculus was cool, but you couldn't make Oculus die sometimes.
Yeah, and you did play it a lot, and sometimes you just couldn't get him to die. So this guy does it on his own, and I don't know if there's any, like, sack triggers that are cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say sack triggers per se, but what I would say is that, like, what his job is, block fatty, sack draw card.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he does, and that's what I want him to do.
Yeah.
Amass the Components is a card that a lot of people were just like, ooh, is it really good? Like, 4 mana, draw 3, put 1 on the bottom. Like, was it Sift?
Yeah, Sift. Why doesn't Wizard just give us Sift? Because we want to interact with our cool graveyard stuff. They give us like all this red. Like red has so many powerful cards to work with the graveyard, and blue doesn't have any. And give blue some. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's where they sort of took the color pie. They're like, right? They're like, red has to do something that's not like haste and or like direct damage.
So red just gets the best card advantage?
Yeah.
How is that fair?
Well, because red's like just been like in this weird space where look at the red cards of the past few years. They've all just been like these weird, like insano variants where everything is random and randomly do this to this random permanent every time. Or if it's include card drawing, like you have Tibalt discard randomly, or you have other cards like I wish they would reprint Gamble. I thought that was a fantastic red card. But the idea of red card draw is something they make Amass the Components not Sift.
I mean, I'm gonna play with it, but I'm not happy.
Just pissed off.
Yeah, I want to put it in my graveyard. I didn't even put it in my graveyard. It's in my library. I'm not going to deck as fast anymore. Thanks, Wizards.
Show you. Arcane Melee is up next, and this feels like training grounds, like where it looks like, oh, someone's going to bust this thing in half, and probably not.
No. This is like training grounds, except Training Grounds was a creature, and this is going to get busted in half. This is the kind of card that I am not good enough to break. I will break other decks for you guys, and I will write about them. But this, I want you to help me with this. These are the kind of cards that I'm going to be at home, and there's going to be an SCG open, and some guy mixed up with Arcane Melee, and I'm like, that is awesome.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know how you sort of get the chain started. Look, there's the blue flicker spell that can flicker like your lands or whatever. Can flicker non-creatures or something. We're going to get to it here in a bit. But you can flicker things for cheaper.
Don't even ruin it for me. I just want to see the deck. Okay. I don't even want to know.
I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't have anything else beyond that. All I have is these things can be abused, but like that's what a Johnny card is. A Johnny card is possibilities. Fill in the blanks, and they costed it at 5 in a way to make sure that it doesn't sort of bite you, like, or in terms for development, it doesn't take over. Like, this spell should never be cheaper than 5 mana, and could an argument could be made for 6 mana just in case, like they did with Hive Mind. And Hive Mind is a ridiculous deck because you don't have to pay 6 for it.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you get all these ancient tombs and just running out there that way.
Yeah. I mean that deck's pretty sweet, and I don't think it's as powerful as that because I don't think there's a combo that you can just kill your opponent with like Hive Mind has.
Right.
I mean, who knows?
I mean, I don't know like how powerful this is in Legacy. I mean, I think you really have to go back to where old school Magic, the spells were a lot better than the creatures, and nowadays the creatures are a lot better than the spells. But and I think that's where this card sort of has to fit. Yeah,
and then a quick look at the art, like that's like the coolest art ever. Like if I was actually a planeswalker and I was playing Magic, that's what I wish it looked like.
That's
just
what
two guys shooting lightning bolts at each other.
It's just like lava shooting up, down. It's just sweet. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So Captain of the Mist. Now this card, 3 mana, 2/3. When another human enters, you can untap, and a blue and a colorless, you can tap and untap target permanent. I mean, I read it and I know what it says, and I was just like, card's kind of but like Smitty on Twitter really likes this card.
I mean, does he like it for anything besides limited?
No, he was like for constructed. He was like he bought like 40 of them, and I was like, okay. And I mean, you know, and I asked him, I'm like, what am I missing about this card? And he's like, it's a good body, and it taps a permanent, not just a creature.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
You can lock a land down for a lot of mana. Like the investment's high. It doesn't get whip flared, and it does block Geist. So like right there, those two things might make it like live, but it has to have a good enough ability to matter, and I don't know if it does.
I mean, like, what you know, you sort of you want to imagine scenarios, right? So you're like, tap a guy, play a guy, tap that guy, get you. Like,
I have the sweetest scenario.
Okay.
Upkeep. Okay, your turn. During your upkeep, tap your birthing pod.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Crippling Chill is next. 3 mana. You freeze a creature, and it doesn't untap during its next
Awesome.
controller's untap step, and you draw a card. Like, it's just a sweet cantrip. Locks down one of their best creatures.
Yeah. Frost Breath has seen play, and usually that card was only for one card of importance. Like sometimes you want to hit 2, but like this card can remove a guy from attacking once and blocking twice, and that's why I just love this. This card seems awesome. Like you get to cantrip, you get attack with your big monster. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You
pretty
can
sure
even tap a Geist Angel.
Yeah, if I'm playing blue in limited, I want that card big time.
That card's really good.
All right, so Deadeye Navigator.
We've went long enough. We finally get to my favorite card.
This one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, this card is insane.
All right, so it's a 6 mana 5/5. If you pair it, you can pay a blue and a colorless and blink it. And blink this or the creature that you're soulbonding. So this is where you get some Fiend Hunter and just like go nuts. Is that what we're saying?
No, this is just unlimited. Like once you have 6 mana untapped with this guy, they can't interact with you anymore. They just can't interact with you. You get to do whatever you want.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, this is just.
Hey, blink, he's got it. Hey, blink, he's got it. Hey, blink, he's got it. Would you just stop it?
Yeah.
Would you just quit that?
Like for 4 mana, like they kill any guy that's not soul bonded. You can just blink him out, then bond him with that, and then blink that guy out, and still have 2 mana to protect your Deadeye Navigator.
I already want this thing to be mythic just so I don't have to deal with that.
This card is going to be insane limit, and it's a 5/5 for 6.
If you it's dragon stats and without the flying, and it's got one of the most annoying, ridiculous soulbond abilities.
Yeah, this card is going to be the most annoying card ever. Like you're gonna think for like 5 minutes and then just scoop because you can't do anything to them. They can block whatever. Like your opponent doesn't even want to draw spells anymore. They just want to draw lands. They can attack and block and blink and flash and
that guy that gives protection from a color.
They can just do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. They just go crazy.
That's crazy. This card is all right. I like this card a lot more than I did when we first entered the card. Now we're leaving the card. Yeah, opinion way higher.
Yeah, this card's insane.
Fantastic. Devastation Tide. It's a 5 mana. It's not
Evacuation.
Upheaval. Evacuation, thank you. So it is a 5 mana evacuation, but it's all non-land permanents. I think evacuation is just creatures.
Yes.
But so it's a riff on that, and it's interesting. I think this card is actually sort of like fairly costed. You know what I mean? Like
no, this card is really good.
Yeah, I mean its actual cost seems fine because it's the same as evacuation, but with upside.
This is the kind of card that I want to use with the card that like Arcane Melee. This is the kind of card, and it's not just when Arcane Melee is in play, but I want like this for combo decks that aren't using permanents to win games.
Yeah.
So you can just bounce everything in play and then start doing whatever you need. So it's just it just slows your opponent down. They have to reinvest into their cards. If they're ever choked on mana and they're just like, I have the nut curve with only 3 lands, and they go like, dude, keep playing one guy, and then you just bounce everything. Then like they can still only play 1 card or 2 cards a turn. Like I actually like this card if there's a combo deck in Standard.
A combo deck, just to answer it. I mean, per se.
No. This helps you deal with a board presence.
Oh, so then you can combo.
I
see.
Yeah, it's just your way to react to them.
Gotcha. A way to answer things.
Answer everything.
Yeah, all at once. And for 2 mana off the miracle.
And you play your Arcane Melee in the Oblivion Ring, and I'm like, nope.
Whoop, 3 mana. Let's bounce everything back. Thanks. Dreadwaters is a mill card. It's a mill card. Yeah. So we're
what
interacts
with the graveyard in the set? Oh yeah, that's right. Nothing.
Right. 0. Nice flashback. Not being there.
Yeah, next.
We're
not even cool art.
Not even, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
Costs a million mana. I'm going to check the flavor text.
We're checking it.
Next, nothing.
Wow.
Just
even
a
the
dead
flavor
card.
text is mediocre. Elgod. Elgod? Elgod. Shield
It's not
Knight.
even guard. Elgard? Wouldn't it be Elgard? Elgod?
Elgod.
Shield Wedge? Okay.
But her shield is glowing.
Okay. Well, everything.
That's the hexproof glow right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even though the name doesn't make sense, but oh my god, this card's insane.
This card with the freaking Deadeye Navigator.
Well, you don't need. No, that's overkill. Like, why do you need to do that?
I want overkill. I want lots of overkill.
Then you don't get to be cool.
I am
and
winning
flip it.
so
You
much
don't-
over here. I can't hear you over the sound of my winning.
You know,
Sorry.
I would blink my guy out, but you can't even target him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, hexproof is. We've already realized that hexproof is a busted ability, and this pairing it with like anything like. You know that moment when you tap out for your really good card and you're like, man, I hope it lives, I hope it lives.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
If this guy's on the battlefield, not paired, and you have some ridiculous fatty in your hand, if they haven't killed that guy already, they're going to kill him in response.
They have to.
And if they kill him in response, they're not killing your fatty. It's like
Yeah.
you're just getting the best of both worlds here.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
This card's insane. And it's a 2/3 for
well,
3. For 4, it's not even bad.
Soulbond is a triggered ability. So, it does say win. So, it is going to go on the stack when you play the second creature. So, they could kill your fatty.
Have
in
you
response.
seen the removal in this set?
Not great.
It's everything that's like kills anything at instant speed costs like 6. So
Yeah, a lot.
So like this guy is going to be causing a lot of nightmares for you.
Well, because, man, we're getting the flicker guy, but the flickering in this set is... So, I'm pretty sure favorable wins is a mistake. Now, you can argue mistakes, and yes, I certainly missed Intangible Virtue by a country mile, but I'm not missing favorable wins. This card is dumb. I am shocked, literally shocked. It pumps Delver, it pumps Lingering Souls, it pumps whatever. I mean, it's just...
Yeah,
The Spirit deck already has a Sweet Lord, already has tons of token makers, already has Midnight Haunting, and this card just like runs right in it.
Yeah, this card's very good. I mean, one of the benefits for Intangible Virtue that's better than flavor or favorable wins is Vigilance. That's like a huge combat-oriented thing.
Fair.
But the reason I like favorable wins is you can like curve out on favorable wins into Darkskull Captain, which is something. So like this hits all of your cards.
Right.
Actually, all of your cards in the Spirit deck.
Yeah.
Instead of Intangible Virtue only hitting your tokens.
Absolutely.
So
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
this card's good.
I was just, I mean, if there's one of those cards I think Wizards is cringing over, I'm pretty sure
Oh,
it's
yeah.
this one.
Like-
if there's one reason they already banned Intangible Virtue and Lingering Souls and Block, I'm sure this might have been part of it.
Like the biggest thing you needed, Step Links was one of the cards that like broke something in Magic where you would deal 4 on turn 2 sometimes,
Yeah.
a lot more consistently. But like you can go Delver into this and hit him for 4. That's a 5-turn clock. That's pretty sweet.
That's crazy.
And now you can't whip flare him.
Again, it's just, you know, if you miss Delver and you print cards like this, I mean, it's head slapping.
Yeah, I bet they're thinking like, how sweet will this be? Maybe you can like curve out with some spirits, and it might make Lingering Souls good because maybe we didn't think Lingering Souls was going to be that good.
They
I
didn't think
assume
Midnight
they did.
Haunting was that good, and Lingering Souls was pushed from a flashback of black to a black and a colorless. What?
Yeah, I think this card's going to see play, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think.
I hope it's not. I mean, you know,
We still have Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah, you know, in the world of Magic, I don't want things to be mistakes and things to be broken. But man, I could not believe this card.
Yeah,
I mean, more Crusades, guys. This is what we're looking for.
I mean, I think this is the card that made them ban Lingering Souls as well. Early, they just were like, we got to get rid of Intangible Virtue, Lingering Souls, and Block right away. Because if this came out, and then you had Darkskull Captain, this, Intangible Virtues, Lingering Souls, like that's just like, every time you draw Lingering Souls, it's like a 4/4.
God, I couldn't handle it. I just could not handle it. So Fettergeist feels like if you couldn't afford a Serendib Efreet for your cube, you would get a Fettergeist. Because it's a 3-mana 3/4 in blue flyer with virtually no drawback. Like, you're not
If
really
you
going to be
couldn't
playing...
afford an Efreet in your cube, why are you building a cube? And why isn't it proxied?
Not everyone has all the cards, and printers and Sharpies. I don't know, okay? I'm just saying. And like, for what it's worth, I was like, blah, 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 spoiler cool, like checking it out. I was like, Fettergeist, okay.
If you
3, 4 with like no drawback, like sweet.
If you didn't own a Serendipity Freet and you didn't want anyone to take the replacement, you put him in your queue. If you really wanted to make a guaranteed 15th pick.
Oh, for God's sake. Like, Serendipity Freet has won me games, man.
It does, yeah.
All right, so Fleeting Distraction, it's good.
Yeah,
it's a cantrip.
They make a lot of these effects all the time, and it's like it cantrips. It's a combat trick. It even like prevents a damage. Like even gain 1 life, draw a card sometimes is fine. Like every way that this card can see play is fine. Like this card is going to make it into every blue deck. Yada yada. We've seen it a million times. Next card.
Okay, so Galvanic. Thank you. Yeah, ha blah blah 1 blue draw card. Ha blah blah next. Yeah. Galvanic Alchemist is a 3-mana 1/4. Not the greatest Soulbond ability. Blue and 2 colorless untap. There's some good tap abilities, aren't there, that I'm missing?
I mean, there's tappers, but there's also like this is a blue doesn't get vigilance, and this is a pseudo vigilance, and it's a horn turtle. So like it's already like got a good body for a defender, and it slows the game down to where you can get to like your bigger spells, and then if you ever put this on like a sweet creature that has any cool tap abilities, it works. But it also just like lets you attack and block, which is cool. And I think the card's fine.
Sure. I mean, I'm just sort of trying to think. There's the guy in red that you tap to discard a card and draw a card.
Yeah, that guy's sweet.
Yeah, and then you pay blue and 2 colorless.
You can just combo
and do it
with
again. Woo. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. But again, like Soulbond creatures are just sort of inherently good because they give you some relevant-ish ability. But being a horn turtle alone would have been okay, and it's nice to have an upside.
Yeah. There's a lot of cake you needed to in this set.
Yeah.
I like cake.
We like cake. Geist Snatch. Geist Snatch? What?
Nothing.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
4 mana, counter target creature spell, and put a 1/1 flyer into play. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it'd be good and limited. I mean, they printed Exclude for 4 mana, and then this is sort of like, instead of drawing a card, you get a 1/1 flyer. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's going to see limited play.
Right. I mean, it's one of those cards you really can't get excited about, but it does its job.
Yeah.
Ghost form, up to 2 creatures are unblockable for 2 mana. I mean, blue gets alpha strikey stuff. That's not happy. Well, it's got artful dodge, right? I mean, unblockable things are not unheard of.
No, I just don't like losing to them. Because it's like a card that I'll never put in a deck because it's like, well, it doesn't fit my curve and it doesn't interact here and here. And my one opponent that, like, I flooded to 10 lands and he has 7. Fatty. And he just has 2 fatties. He's like, oh, I'll just kill you. And I'm like, all right, you got me. Yeah.
Ghost form. You're going to blow some people out with Ghost form. So Ghostly Flicker was what I was talking about earlier for Arcane Melee. Exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, and or lands. So with the Grand Melee, you're actually gaining a mana on this spell. Yeah. But okay. Yeah. That was just, I was like, whoa, you're gaining a mana. ... I mean,
this card has so many implications in Limited, it's unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Because it protects your guys, you can block, but like, even games where you're pinched on mana, you can like attack with your guy that you need to block with, blink him out, like if you're racing a person, blink him and a land out to get an extra land to play another guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I just like how this card, there's so many situations that this card's just going to be awesome in that I can't wait to see play. I don't think it's going to see it play in every deck, but you're definitely going to touch up with it every once in a while.
I think what you're going to find is that, the ability to have 2 blockers that we're attacking, I think is probably the most used option of this. But regardless, I mean, the opportunities
How miserable is combat in this set? It's like if your opponent has any mana open, you're like, man, does he got something?
This combat, the combat in this area is just like a complete minefield. Yeah. You're just like, Ghost Flicker, Ghost Flicker, the cloud thing, the cloud flicker spell that we just talked about.
Just like half the cards in the set do something.
Have the cards do something that like flicker or blow you out.
Yeah, there's even abilities in play. So you're like, well, you can do that with that Soulbound and that with that Soulbound, and then they're like, nope, it's in my hand.
And cloud shift your face. Yeah. Like, what? Ghostly Touch is next, and it's it adds the tap ability when something attacks, and it's an aura.
We had the Urn guy from last set.
Yeah, goes to the Niblis of the Urn, and now it's the Niblis of the Aura.
It's like like the creature flew by some wizard and he like kills it. And he's like, well, that was a cool ability.
And so he
I had
just
to
like
make
so he
this.
just touched out his hand and like sucked in the nibbles of the urn in his hand. I
don't know.
I mean, you can untap a permanent where that just tap the creature or whatever.
Oh,
But
you
like,
can untap?
Yeah, you can tap.
Oh, you can like pseudo vigilance up a guy?
Yeah, you can pseudo vigilance a guy. You can untap a land, gain a to play more spells or whatever.
All right, so it is a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's cute. It's just ultimately I think a little marginal, and
yeah,
I'm not sure how playable it actually is. Yeah, Griff Vanguard. We like drawing cards.
Yeah,
we draw cards good.
Replacement effects. I love replacement effects, and it can replace. It can like turn all your like flicker wisp things into a cantrip, and yeah. Think about how insane you could go with the one guy.
Oh, we're not even gotten to him yet.
No, the rare.
Oh,
2 mana draw card. 2 mana draw card. 2 mana draw card.
Oh my god, that card is so sick.
I
like
know.
Griff Vanguard is good for 4 mana.
Yeah,
I mean, or as a 3/2 as a 3/2 flyer.
Yeah.
For 4 mana is fine. So for one more mana, you're drawing a card, and that is absolutely a deal. I mean, you pay 6 for this card, like.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you would.
I like drawing cards.
Haven Ghoul Scob is 6 mana 4/5, and when he attacks, you flicker something or you bring something back, such as a Griff Vanguard. There's your 5 and your 6 drop right there next to each other.
Yeah, I mean my favorite thing about this guy is if he's alone, you don't have to return anything, so there's no drawback if he's alone.
Yep.
And it does have some implications with other things, and he's like a big guy for a blue deck. Like,
yeah, I was going to say.
Scab Goliath is giant, but it has a big downside.
Yep.
So like this guy is getting close to that power level, and this for what this set is,
right,
to be such a big body, and sometimes it'll be a downside, but most of the time I think you can build a deck to have an upside, and you'll probably be blocking a lot anyway.
Yeah, I mean, again, the 6 drops are actually playable. You're actually going to resolve these things, so it's not unheard of that this is going to see play and then actually be relevant in the game, attacking and making things return to your hand.
I think my favorite thing about the set so far, and I'm not even going to lie to you guys, I don't know. I think this limited set's going to be awesome, but I don't know what it's going to be like, so I think every card is playable. Like, we haven't figured out, except Angel's Mercy.
Yeah. Angel's Mercy, okay.
Yeah, like, all these cards seem like they have some implication in the format, so I'm hoping that this is a really cool limited set.
And I hope it's a trend. I really enjoy the fact that Wizards, makes everything, like, just playable. Like, some of them are super awesome, and some of them are just like, I wouldn't be super unhappy as a 23rd card. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards in this set.
There's a ton of those like that. Infinite Reflection, so infinite.
I still don't know how this card works. I read it once and then I just stopped.
Well,
so I'm just pretty sure like you enchant a creature and then everything you control becomes that creature.
Everything you ever play from that point is that guy.
Oh, not even in play though?
Well, I don't know about in play. It says that
each other non-token
enter the battlefield as a copy.
No, when it enters the battlefield attached to a creature, each other non-token creature you control becomes a copy too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it just turns them all into it.
Turns them all, and everything you play is that too. I mean, it's a Johnny card. It was given to the Johnny writer on MagicGathering.com. It's a card. I think it was costed out of constructed play at 6 because you want to do crazy fun kitchen table stuff with this.
Yeah, and obviously limited all-star, but yeah, like this card is going to be so cool and like other formats, like they just did it
with as much bounce in the set. I don't know. Like
if they tap out, all your guys become that forever. Even if this enchantment goes away, you can like enchant their creature.
No, they don't.
What?
I mean, while this is in play, they're going to be a copy, and then once this goes away, they're not anymore.
Are you sure?
I don't know anymore.
I'm pretty sure not. It's like a
trigger.
I think it doesn't say anything about.
Well, it says becomes a copy, and then enters as a copy. Okay.
Yeah, they become a copy, so they don't change back.
All right.
So if they tap out for like a big monster that takes over the game, and you have like 4 guys, you're like, all right, I get 4 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, this card seems insane.
Being able to enchant their fatties is actually fantastic.
That's why this card's like really, really good, and that's why it's a rare.
Oh, Lord, yeah. So I'm happy about that card. Into the Void. Combat is miserable. Well, it's not an instant. It's
I mean, just double bouncing guys in this format. It's like, hey, you and that Soulbond guy, get out of here.
Hey, and then you're
take
just like,
that love connection somewhere else.
Luna goes blink. God. But yeah, this is a fine card. Latchseeker is a weird push for me. Blue aggro. And I mean,
it's a weird push for you.
Well, I mean, like,
we've been doing that for about 2 years now.
Well, they've been making blue creatures better and more aggressive, and like Delver, I think was like they went too far.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, but like they've already printed all this stuff. But like, 3 mana, 3/1 unblockable. Okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's very good. It's just like in blue, just feels like it's just odd.
Yeah, three power for 3 mana has always just been all those cards you have to look at. And this guy just seems insane. Like, obviously good and limited, but I could see some block play because like there's not a lot of ways to deal with it, like Geist Flame and things like that. I don't know about standard. Standard probably. I mean, you got Gut Shot and.
You just got infinite burn spells for this guy.
Yeah,
I don't think. Yeah,
he's just too slow.
Yeah, the red guys are just almost all.
This is like if there's no big, awesome rare, I think I'm just first picking this guy in limited. Like.
Yep. And just, I mean, it's a clock, right? Get you.
Well, yeah, he's good. He's very good. This card's insane.
He's solid. So, Lone Revenant is
cool.
He's fine.
Hell.
He's a fine guy. He needs help. He has hexproof.
No, he doesn't need
help. He needs
help.
some flying.
He needs. No, he doesn't need help. He needs to not have shown up when there's all these Titans and blah 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 blah. Like I think this card.
So you're saying that when Titans like finally leave us,
they better leave us. Wizards M13.
I'm calling it right now. M13 has Shocklands and no Titans.
Right now. Calling it right now. Evan probably knows what he's talking about.
It's the set I would put the Shocklands in.
He does now. But if a card puts 3 creatures into play, he cannot evaluate that at all.
That was a long time ago. That was a period in my life which I was still learning how to evaluate things. Okay?
And now you over-evaluate anything that puts 3 guys into play.
Maybe. So, anyway, Lone Revenant, you think actually could be constructed worthy were it not for all that?
Yes, because it has hexproof that protects itself.
Yeah.
You run control aspects. It can be a kill condition. It's like a blocker just on the ground. It doesn't really die to anything. And when you hit with it, you get to replace spells. So you just start the snowball effect of just gaining card advantage and using that card advantage to kill what they have in play and just keep connecting.
I think what you want to happen is like, once you hit one time, it's a lot better than then it sort of like pays for itself. You know what I mean? Like it actually makes it really worth it. But in a set in a format with Lingering Souls, I don't know how good this is actually going to be able to get through.
It's because it's not banned. It's not going to be banned in standard.
Not in standard, like in block. I mean,
I'm thinking. Well,
you give it some flying, or you put some equipment on it, and you can ride this guy.
For some reason, in my head, I was thinking it would be Lingering Souls will get banned in standard once rotation happens. Yeah, I don't know. Never mind. It's still going to be sweet though, and it seems like a great control card.
They're trying to do everything in standard that isn't banning Snapcaster Mage. That's what I can figure so far.
Yeah, they can't really ban one of their players.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Tygo gets suspended too?
You're banned, buddy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
If I can't play you, you can't play. Wait a minute.
Anything.
Nothing. Lunar Mystic is a 4-mana 2/2 that gives all your instants, an upside.
I just want to meet that guy. He must be important.
That guy is sweet.
Yeah.
All stars and constellations around him and stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's cool.
Yeah. He's bad.
Yeah, he's bad.
He looks cool. Pretty bad.
Mass Appeal, I think, was pushed. I think this card was 4 mana, and someone sliced a mana off of it. I'm just going to throw that. I don't know at all if that's the case, but it feels like they've made these cards before, or you draw cards equal to the number of whatever's that you have.
Yeah.
I recall there was one in Lore 1, I think.
There was one you could just name a creature type, though.
Yeah, and I think it was 4 mana?
Yeah, it was 4 mana.
Okay.
And you could name any creature type.
Yeah.
And that was more tribal, so this card does not seem pushed to me.
Well, I mean, they've made so many humans, and they're so good, and now there's human tokens and things, and this card, I think, is... There's solid. I don't think it's bad.
No, it's good, but there's problems with it, right? You're gonna want to gain value off of him, but so when you cast it, you're losing the tempo advantage of playing a creature deck against the other decks. So you're gonna draw three cards on turn 3 if you just have the nut curve. But,
Champion, Gather, Mass Appeal, right?
But the problem with that is you're wasting your turn 3, and standard is all about dudes and swords. There isn't much attrition going on between the creature matchups. So you're just wanting to do whatever you can aggressively. Instead of playing that, you want to just play a sword that has protection from what they're doing and attack them with it, or play a Mirror Crusader, or play the Silverblade Paladin. So against control, then you play this, and then they just get more time to ratchet bomb and out control you with all their more powerful spells. So I think this card could see play in a sideboard, maybe, but I'm gonna guess not.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, once you get it to the point where like you're losing tempo and you're sort of skipping your turn to draw these cards or whatever, it feels like the only attrition of battles are gonna be the mirror.
And if you want to draw 7 cards, just play with Griselbrand.
Griselbrand, yay!
Yeah, just
Did
do
you
that.
eat your Griselbrand this morning? I had my bowl of Griselbrand. It was good. Mist Raven is next. It is, they made a flying mana war.
This card's awesome.
This card is sweet.
This card's pushed. You draft this. You draft it hard.
You draft this every freaking time, and you
all
flicker the crap out of it.
Yeah, you bounce their stuff.
It'll be bouncing.
You ask them how many cards in their hand, they say 5, then you say, nope, 6.
Oh, well, you know what? I like Mist Raven a lot more than I like Mist Hollow Griffin. I made a Magic show about it.
Hollowed
You
Griffin?
can go watch it. Yeah, Mist Hollow Griffin.
What's Mist Hollow Griffin?
Wait, where'd it go? Oh, it's back
No
from
idea.
exile. Oh, God. Why? I've ranted about this in the show already. What do you think about this card?
It's like Food Chain. It's good with Food Chain. I don't know. It seems like a ton of work to get them to work.
Well, I mean, I think you're going to run 1 or 2 in the Delver deck because, with the Moorland Haunt interaction.
You're not
whatever.
going to. Just let them think you're going to play it. I don't want to crush his dreams. I don't want to ruin them.
I think you're going to play 2.
You're probably going to play Dungeon Geist over him.
He's probably right.
But let's let him live in Magic.
But I think
for
it's
just
sweet.
a couple minutes.
Instead,
it'll definitely see play in Delver. I mean, just think of the interaction of like dying, making a 1/1, taking it into the graveyard, bringing it back, chump blocking again. Like it sounds very cool, Evan. It sounds great.
it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I like cool things.
Yeah, it's cool.
It does cool things.
It's cool.
Nephalia Smuggler is awesome. Holy
Yes.
cow.
If I was in a world in Magic,
Whoa.
that's who I would be. I would just be
Dude.
some fat guy
With a cane.
just using my smarts to keep alive.
with a hat.
Yeah.
Blink that guy.
Yeah.
Blink that guy. Blink that guy. Blink. Blink.
Well, no, he's a smuggler. He helps people get from place to place. He doesn't ever do any bad. Everyone likes him because he smuggles, and everyone hates him. But he probably has some good friends. So
Everyone
no one
likes
wants to
him
kill
except everyone hates him
yeah,
because he's a
but
smuggler.
no one's gonna touch him because he probably has some big mean friends.
Yeah, that he can bring in at instant speed.
At instant speed.
Like the freaking Mist Raven. Wow. That's a
Oh
combo.
wow! I didn't even think that guy's insane.
The Smuggler is ridiculous. Actually,
Yeah.
insane. Like they wanted to make a 1-drop matter. He matters a lot.
That ends games.
You better kill this guy quick.
Draft the removal.
Oh my God. Outwit is, another it's a counterspell. It's so narrow, you're never going to see it work.
Except when Jerry finds the one weekend, it's awesome because he does that with a lot of counters. He does. Jerry
People are going to start playing Bonfire of the Damned and Jerry's just going
yeah. Every once in a while, there's just 2 of this 1-mana counterspell in Jerry's sideboard. I'm like, that was pretty good to play this weekend.
next weekend, no. Weekend before, no.
Yeah, I think he was the first person to dispel people, so he's probably gonna outwit them first too.
I like Dispel. Dispel
Yeah.
was cool. Dispel was better than this. So Peel from Reality, I love this reprint. I think this is sweet.
The art's way better. It's
Yep.
probably in a better set.
Yep.
This card's awesome.
Oh.
And you can still Civic Wayfinder him. Well, Borderland Ranger, Civic Wayfinder.
Borderland Ranger, but yeah.
Same thing.
Oh my God. Combat is miserable.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, it's way better because you can't damage on anymore.
This
You
is
used to
true.
play with this card when you could damage on the stack, and that was just unfair.
Woo! That was nuts. And then you
Yeah.
had to explain how damage on the stack worked, and that was always awkward.
Yeah.
But it's only miserable when you say miserable to you is that guy has a bunch of tricks that I can't play around.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other hand, I'm happy with this in terms of combat and limited is always going to be cool and varied and different. But you say it's miserable because you're like, how do I play around all of it?
Yes.
You don't know how to play around all of it.
Yeah, that's what combat's going to be like. You're just going to have to think about everything. Just be aware of what you've been passing.
Well, if they're playing blue and white, I mean, you just have to expect infinite blink.
Well, or you just take my approach sometimes in limited and just ignore it all. And just turn them all sideways and see what happens.
Just make them have it.
If they're fiddling with their mana and they're like, I got this and I got this, you're like, I bet you got none of it.
Yeah, I mean, and I've read multiple articles where they're just just make them have it. Just
Yeah.
make them have it. A
Yeah.
lot of times the professionals are just like, you have to have it. If you have it, you got me. Or if you had it, you would have used it the turn before
Yeah, exactly.
to blow me out, et cetera, et cetera. And, a lot of people just don't put that together. They say, well, they've been, playing this card and they have this mana untapped the whole time, and that
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. It means they want you to think that.
Exactly. A lot of times in this set, I can definitely see, you're just going to have to shove your guys in and just get blown out. Mm-hmm. If you get blown out.
So, Rock Crown Ghoul.
I feel so bad to be that person. I feel just so bad. Like, he looks horrific. It looks like his life sucks, and he doesn't even do anything cool.
No, it's looking like a dog. It's like,
yeah,
it's like the saddest king dog ever.
Yeah, he's just like moping around, and then finally when he dies, nothing happens at all. He just dies.
Meow. It makes no difference. No one cares.
Yeah. And then like even zombie apocalypse happens, and the zombies that come back are like, not this guy. I don't want this guy.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's good. He's good there.
No. Scrap Skin Drake. 3 mana, 2/3 flyer. Can only block creature with flying. That's okay with me because I want to get in with this guy. I don't want to be just attacking nonstop with this guy.
Yeah, this guy's very good.
Good, solid, limited flyer.
He's pushed. His mana cost has been pushed. Like, this guy is going to do a lot of attacking, and then he's just going to get trumped by angels, but he's going to get some good damage. And then, like, this is what you want to start your curve with when you play all these bounce spells.
Yep.
So, like, this guy's awesome.
For me, Outwit is one thing. I actually think Second Guess would be a card that Jerry would run at the 2-0 because, you know, like you miracle it and then you blah and then they miracle it and then you second guess them and, you know.
Yeah, the thing I like about Second Guess is it kind of like teaches a new player how to use counter magic. It's like usually if they think you have a counter spell, they're going to bait you with a card, but then they always go snap counter that. Now they're like, man, I can't counter that. Okay, that resolves. And they're like, oh, he doesn't have a counter. Second guess.
That's
why I like this
card. That's a Cavern of Souls over there.
What? What does that do?
We'll talk about it.
What is Cavern of Souls?
Spectral Prison is a 2-mana aura. If the creature doesn't untap, and if the creature becomes the target of a spell,
not ability, yeah.
Very important. A spell, you're going to sacrifice Spectral Prison.
Makes this card infinitely better than Ice Cage.
Whew, Ice Cage was just not quite good enough.
No, because
just so close.
There were so many abilities that could target creatures, and I mean, especially with like all the mages.
Yep.
Like Crimson Mage, yeah, Death Touch Mage,
sadness.
Yeah. So this card's awesome. I mean, it definitely can't be as aggressive as Ice Cage, but you're taking that drawback to make it a defensive spell most of the time, or a racing spell, to have to force them to trade 1-for-1 on it instead of 0-for-1. So awesome card.
Absolutely. So, Spirited Away, that's a heck of a control magic, guys.
Terrible movie, great card.
What?
I'm kidding. I just wanted people to flame.
Oh, my God.
I will hurt you.
You should be talking smack about Spirited Away, buddy. Miyazaki, I will cut you. Spirited Away, it's the card, I mean, just, you know, they know how good mind control is. They know how good those types of effects are. And ultimately, I think they know that, you know, they want to make it really expensive because this card is going to see play no matter how expensive it is and no matter how far they push it.
Oh, this card's insane.
Like, and flying and +2/+2. Wow.
I mean, I just want to put this on my own creature to kill them in a turn. You know, like you can do that.
Just to show them, like,
yeah, like they play a big monster. You have a monster on the ground. You're like, nope. Like, kill ya.
Get you, buddy. All right. So Stern Mentor is next. Has Soulbond, and it lets you Millstone. You know, with the tap ability and stuff. I love how you were way more excited about the Horn Turtle than the 4-mana 2/2.
I like combat.
I ain't spending time on this card. Stolen Goods is, you know, it's a lesson in variance, right? It's just like what you got. Like, and they flip over the 1-drop, you're going to hate life. And if they flip over something ridiculous, it's going to be awesome.
Or you set it up.
And how do you, with Noxious Revival?
With anything, yeah.
But that takes standard. But like in terms of like in limited, I don't think there is anything that puts cards
not
right on
in
top
this
of the library.
format, yeah.
Or even like actually returns a creature or a permanent to the top of its owner's library.
Well, there's
the miracle spell that does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a miracle.
There's a miracle spell that does that.
Combo?
Yeah, with your rare and your miracle spell.
Yeah.
Magical Christmas.
It's so pretty.
It's the video.
Oh my God.
Did you see this?
Do you know what? The only thing I dislike about her is that I can't play with her yet, and I've talked about her to death. Like, I don't even know what else to say. She's amazing.
I want to get my hands on my foil for my cube. It's gonna be.
I have never pre-ordered a card in my life, and I purchased 4 of these.
Oh my God! Yeah. And when I play cube, I have found that Jace 3.0, Jace Memory Adept is unfair. Card is not good in cube. It mills 10 for 0.
Oh yeah, it's
busted. And it's just not. I mean, you know, and I have a power cube with big swings, and that card is too good.
Yep.
That card is just way pushed, and for cube for limited environments. So it's nice that I now have a 5-mana blue planeswalker. It's not Jace. It does totally super awesome things. Will be totally sweet.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about what this does in constructed too.
Oh yeah, this card's insane. The minute I saw it, I just wanted to talk about it, and it does everything. Like it protects itself. Mm-hmm. It also works really well with Lingering Souls, like every other card in Magic ever.
Lingering Souls is so sweet.
Yeah, and just being able to draw cards, you can use them against him. Like you can play Control Deck with Gideon. It combos so well with Gideon. You play Gideon to protect it. You play Tameo, draw 4 cards. Like then they have to hit Gideon again. Like. I think this card is going to be awesome. And yes, people are like, man, it's ultimate is so busted, and you get to like counter whatever you want, do whatever. That's every ultimate ever in the history of Magic.
It's an ultimate. It's supposed to be ultimately awesome.
And this one's even cooler than any other one, because like when you ultimate a Koth, you start pinging me like, yeah, I'll concede, and you're like, okay, because the game's over. If I have ultimate with this and they just go to Kingdom's like, please just let me play one more turn, just one more.
I want to see it happen.
I just want to Thought Scour for 4 cards a couple more times.
This is also one of the most amazing follow-ups to a Terminus.
A Terminus?
Oh, Terminus for 1. Tameo. Tap that. Go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you in big trouble because they're going to untap with a Tameo, add 5 counters.
Yeah, Tameo is so good. It protects herself so well.
Oh, it's going to be so sick. So Tandem Lookout is, the Soulbond Ophidian, as it were. And this guy is really good. I think this is certainly a guy you do not run out turn 3 because you can. You wanna wait a little bit.
Okay, we don't even have to do that prank again. It's not good at all, man. It's a 2/1.
But it draws you cards.
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
I guess having another Ophidian might be good, but I want to waste the card like this in my deck.
I'm playing Ghost form. That's it.
You're playing what?
I'm playing the 2 mana, 2 creatures are unblockable.
just to get 2 cards off of it
Against you.
All right, if it happens, you will know. We will let you know. But I bet he's just going to play it and never get through and just be a wasted guy, give it Death Touch, be like, now you go to trade with it.
What?
I was like, I would do that anyway.
Oh, fine. Okay, so Temporal Mastery is a real thing.
Let's take a deep breath.
Oh my God.
Let's control ourselves. Okay. So what I want to say about this card is it is fine. It's not the best thing in the world. Right when I saw it, I thought it would be too. Jerry and I played. You could watch one of our test videos.
Everyone
we played with it.
has freaked out over this thing, and then I think everyone has gotten like freak out remorse.
Yes.
They're just like,
if you make this card cost 2 in Time Walk, it will take up too many slots in your deck to do anything actually good. You're like, look at all the cool things I'm doing, except interacting with you at all.
And if you get it on turn 2, if you get it on turn 2, you actually can't even miracle it.
Yeah. If you get it on turn 3, it's awesome.
If you get it on turn 3, I mean, yes, there are magical Christmas land scenarios, but that doesn't make them the norm.
Ramp and Planeswalkers, guys. Ramp and Planeswalkers. That's where this card fits in Standard. Ramp and Planeswalkers.
Because, it's just like what Time Warp did the last time it was in Standard. It was just fatties and Planeswalkers, like whatever.
Or Heartbeat of Springs. Anyone that makes a sweet Heartbeat of Springs deck, I will love you forever.
Oh, totally sweet.
Yeah.
Banishment is the card we were talking about earlier. It's a combo with Stolen Goods, but that doesn't mean you really need to run it.
Yeah, being an instant, though, makes this card really sweet. Yeah. I like the tempo boost. Like, think of how much this is pushed. We had Griptide at 4 that was just awesome.
Yeah.
We had Grass that was awesome at 4. For 5 mana, it's not that bad, and you get the reward of having a miracle card. This card will see a lot of limited play. Yeah. Just the card advantage boost of it is just awesome.
Yeah, and it hits non-land permanents, including like Planeswalkers and artifacts, and that type of thing, where Griptide was just fine for 4 mana for creatures. And this is 5 mana for anything.
Didn't even know that. Way better.
Way better. Way awesome. Love that card. Wingcrafter, I think, is sweet.
Yeah.
Again, for limited, but it's just, I love how they made a 1-drop matter. They made a 1-mana 1/1, really cool. Actually do something really sweet, even if you play, Wingcrafter, and then you miss a drop, and you play a 3-drop, and they both have
flying. Have you ever seen Flight? Card's awful. This card's way better. You play this card.
I've seen Flight, and I agree with you, it is terrible.
You play it like a flight, though. You hold it in your hand forever, and you just make your big guy do that. That's what I love about these soul-bound creatures. They can come down and interact in the early turns when the 1/1s would always interact anyway, or they just sit back and have this huge impact on a game later.
So would you rather have the impact later, or would you rather curve out and 1-drop, 2-drop, give them flying and get you? I mean, and again, in a blue deck, you're going to be blinking like crazy in a blue deck.
That's good. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, so I think, for me, I think,
you sold me. I'll play this card way more.
Dang, done.
Yeah, I'm in. Sweet. I'm invested. I will draft this card.
So Grafton. Okay.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, that was our blue review for Avacyn Restored.
2 out of 3 done.
Oh man, well plus then some. It's not just green and we're done. It's green and then artifacts and gold cards and lands.
We don't even do that in a day. We do that in over 2 days?
No, we're doing it on the same day.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Green is going to be
2 of our 5 days are done.
2 of our 5 days are done.
Yeah.
But we're not even halfway there.
No, you guys still have 3 more days of this.
Oh my God. Well, we hope you're enjoying it, because I know I am.
Yeah, if you're sleeping, then...
Wake up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come on.
Come on.
We'll see you guys here tomorrow. For Brad Nelson, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards.
So you don't have to.
I always like the fatties.